Well, good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for being here this evening and for supporting Success Charity so generously through the purchase of your ticket for tonight's concert. I would like to express my very great thanks to my wonderful colleagues from Norwich Cathedral who, at this incredibly busy time of year, have once again gone to Herculean efforts to get themselves and 40 children down to London to make this Christmas concert possible. And my thanks too to our really excellent boys and girls, of whom I'm really tremendously proud. Now, as you may be aware, tonight's concert was to happen in St Stephen Walbrook, just around the corner, as it has on a number of previous occasions, but overrunning building work meant that we had to look for an alternative venue at very short notice. And with that in mind, I would like to express my very great thanks to all those here at St Michael Cornhill who have made it possible for us to perform here, and in particular Jonathan Rennett, the Director of Music, who has been so generous not only with his initial response but indeed with his time today. So to all at St Michael's, thank you as well. Now, rehearsing the carols for tonight's concert with the boys and girls behind me and thinking about what I would say this evening, two words leapt out at me, and I'm very pleased that Dominic Grieve has already said one of them. The first of those words is hope. Hope is what Christmas and I believe what Success Charity are all about. Hope is the child in the manger, the Word made flesh. A new child represents hope. Now, in our family, we're expecting a baby, a niece for me and a cousin for my children at any moment, perhaps even tonight. When a new life comes into the world, none of us know how that life will turn out, but at that moment, it is a perfect new life, full of hope for the future. All we want is for our children to thrive, to be happy, and to be loved. The children sitting behind me represent tremendous hope for the future. What an amazing pool of talent, ability and promise there is amongst the boys and girls in our cathedral choir. Who knows what their own futures will hold or what they will all be doing in 20 years' time. Now, I have two daughters. The youngest of them, Betty, is 2.5 years old and everything that a child that age should be. Fun, lively, sweet, naughty and exhausting. Her life has no worries. It's a young life full of hope. My eldest daughter, Emily, was just a little bit older than Betty is now when she was diagnosed, as some of you know, with a rare brain tumour 10 years ago in June 2014. In that moment, for any parent, all hope seems to be lost. We automatically think the worst. Will our child live? Well, thanks to the miracles of modern medicine and the skill and the dedication of those who work in it, represented by many medical professionals here tonight, most children diagnosed with brain tumours do live, at least for far longer than would ever have been possible in the past. What a precious gift that is, the gift of young life. It does, however, come at a cost, often at a very great cost to the child. As a consequence of her tumour, Emily has completely lost all of her eyesight. She has suffered cognitive impairment. Her pituitary function is severely damaged. For those of you who are brain tumour novices, as we were right at the start 10 years ago, the pituitary was described to us by one of Emily's wonderful doctors as being like the post office of the brain, the place that sorts out all the chemical messages that the brain is getting from all the different parts of the body and what to do with them. Because of this deficiency, Emily takes a whole load of medication 5 times a day to keep her alive. She suffers with what is known as hypothalamic obesity, as her brain is unable to regulate her weight, regardless of what she eats. She currently goes back to Great Ormond Street Hospital once every 2 to 3 weeks to have fluid drained from the cystic components of her tumour in the brain, which otherwise grow large and cause her to become excessively tired and unwell, needing to sleep for large parts of the school day. This brings me on to the second word that leapt out at me in my rehearsals: weary. This crops up in a number of carols, and still their heavenly music floats over all the weary world we've just sung. There will be parents here tonight who, like us, are weary of the daily struggles and uncertainties, caring for and supporting a child with a brain tumour. But this is where the work of Success Charity is important. It offers hope to us and to others like us in what can feel like a very weary world. So whether it is in funding research, advocating for needs of children living with brain tumours, or simply being a community in which those living with these life-changing illnesses can find advice, support and friendship, it provides hope. It is light in the darkness, just like the life of any newborn child, like the Christ child in the manger. I wanted to leave you with this short poem by Emily Dickinson, which is a favourite of mine. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words, and never stops at all, and sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.